The fight is on to set the Democratic Party's path forward after the disastrous results of the last election, and AOC at least is trying to make sure that they don't double down on the failed strategies of the past, but others, including those with apparently a lot more cachet on the party, believe no, we need to go back to the way we used to do things, that in some ways are even worse than the way we've been doing things recently. So here's a suggestion for who should lead the DNC from former Obama campaign manager David Axelrod. He apparently is pushing for, swear to God, Rahm Emanuel.
Oh.
Now, there are probably a lot of you who, you've been paying attention to politics for like the last 2 years, 4 years, 6 years or whatever, and you haven't really had to deal with Rahm Emanuel. But in the Obama years, which now comparatively seem like some sort of paradise, he was the constant kick in the crotch, just having him around, attacking and smearing progressives constantly and advising Obama to be the worst version of himself possible. And that is who David Axelrod is saying should be brought back. He said, if they said, well, what should we do? Who should lead the party? He is the most skillful political kind of infighter in the Democratic Party. I will give him infighter. That is true. He's been a member of Congress. He's been White House chief of staff. He's been the mayor of Chicago. Oh, and he only did great things there. He knows how to do this, and he would be a presence in the media and so on, fearless about taking on Trump. Look, some of that might be true. I don't think what we need right now or are lacking is people who are fearless on taking on Trump. We have some of that, which is good and necessary. Trump is not fundamentally the person who needs to be taken on in the realm of how you make the Democratic Party a party that is going to win elections. Whoever runs for the Democrats is going to take on Trump and MAGA and his successor, whatever. That is a guarantee, okay? But that's not the issue. That's not why they lost the last election. There are other people that need to be taken on, other people that we need to stand in opposition to. And unfortunately, that's the sort of people that Rahm Emanuel has never challenged. The sort of like donors that have a stranglehold on the Democratic Party and tell them how to campaign and what issues to focus on and what issues to surrender. And so for David Axelrod to be like, let's go right immediately back to that, that is a great way to maybe, if Trump's first term is bad enough, win one election and then immediately lose it again, because he will advise the Democrats to do nothing once they get in power, challenge nothing, promise nothing bold, and we'll go right back to Tucker Carlson or who the hell else comes after that. But Francesca, I had a feeling you probably would not be a big fan of this. We're gonna get to AOC's response to this in a sec, but first you.
Oh, thank you. Priority over AOC on the damage report, what?
This one time.
I think the last thing you said was really poignant, and we should underline it, that the idea that you could, that this Republican Party, that MAGA, that Trump, that all these a-holes being nominated to the administration will burn through the public's trust in a mere matter of months, to say nothing of years. I have no doubt about that. And I have no doubt that if there is an election in 4 years, which again, not sure there will be, I do think that it would swing back to Democrats. But I agree with you that it would then, with the likes of Rahm Emanuel at the helm and another milquetoast ass, president like Joe Biden, would swing back to a fascist. And we need to get out of this death pendulum that meanwhile we are all getting sicker, poorer, and not able to actually like have healthy communities and really thrive as the richest nation in this world. So like, Rahm Emanuel, if you want to win the battle and lose the war, sure. I'm not gonna join you on that. And let's be real, Rahm Emanuel, what he is he's a neoliberal. Now, Republicans and Democrats are both neoliberal. It means that you believe in mass privatization of every public good. You believe that corporations are better trusted than government officials and government running anything, right? You believe that businesses, when they run things, are great. It's a libertarianism. It's maybe a lighter libertarianism, right? But it's neoliberalism. Rahm Emanuel, as the mayor of Chicago, closed a bunch of schools during his tenure, to say nothing of covering up, police brutality and murder. I believe Laquan McDonald was his name. And so there was all that, right? But on top of that, Rahm Emanuel is the guy that you go to basically do more of what has gotten us to this point of fascism, which is squeeze people, penny pinch them, funnel our money up to the corporate elites and the corporate class, and then tell us we should be grateful when a Pell Grant comes along, right? Or one little piece of reform for every Nissan owner who's under the age of 37, like gets a small, minimal reduction on their student loans. You know what I mean? Like, but you also have to be a cat lover and a business owner. It's a whole thing. So like, no. How about no, David Axelrod?
Yeah, 100%. Look, you referenced that he's a neoliberal. Like, I kind of feel like he might be the neoliberal.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
He might. I'm not saying there's nobody else who matches him, but like, I feel like he's exactly that. So at least specifically in the like, I'm gonna try to influence the Democratic Party field. He is like the prototypical neoliberal.
Totally.
In any event, here is what AOC had to say about that suggestion. There is a disease in Washington of Democrats who spend more time listening to the donor class than working people. If you want to know the seed of the party's political crisis, that's it. The DNC needs an organizer who gets people, not someone who sends fish heads in the mail, which I vaguely remember that story. And I agree with her. And like, I understand, assuming that we have elections in 4 years, okay, which I assume we'll have something like that. If we assume that, I have this weird optimism that they will fail because they have no interest in succeeding. They don't actually care about getting prices down. They just don't, and their plans won't. So they almost certainly are gonna fail. I feel this weird feeling like the Democrats almost necessarily have to win in 4 years if things develop the way they look like they will. So the most important thing is making sure that when they win with the right people who can deliver and who can win re-election. America desperately needs someone who deserves to be reelected because they have not felt like they've had that for years and years and years. And I'm worried that the Democratic strategy is just gonna tee up the next person who's gonna get in and then get thrown out in 4 more years. And I trust the AOCs far more than the Rahm Emanuels to choose the person to deserve a second term. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.